Welcome back, Focus learners. Today, we're bringing you a brand new explainer that acts like a magnifying glass, focusing right in on the day-to-day realities of software development. We aren't looking at some massive corporate release today. Instead, we're taking a deep dive into what is, remarkably, part 164 of an ongoing Haskell programming journey by an author named Ang. 164! It's just an incredible testament to consistency. We're going to be breaking down a very specific update made on June 17th, 2026, all about optimizing membership checks. So get ready, because we are going to unpack not just the code, but the truly fascinating human elements behind maintaining a long-running pet project. Right off the bat, the update starts with a simple, "Dear Interweb," continues from my previous post. I absolutely love this. It instantly establishes this intimate developer diary feel for Ang's pet project. This isn't a sterile piece of technical documentation. It's a real, ongoing conversation with the digital world. The author is literally bringing us right into the middle of their workflow, casually linking us back to the work they were doing yesterday or maybe the week before. It really frames everything we're about to look at as a living, breathing process of continuous improvement. Okay, let's dive into this actual update. The author notes that while adding more test cases during refactoring, they realized something kind of surprising. They had never actually used the containers package that just comes with the standard Haskell distribution. So what do? They implement a super precise two-part code change. Step 1, they modify their configuration file, the package.yaml, to officially add the standard containers package. Then, step 2, they jump right into their test file, lexiconspec.hs, and import data.set. It's just a really clean, straightforward modification to bring some powerful standard tools directly into the project. Now, you might be wondering, what's the specific tool the author reaches for inside that newly imported package? It's the member function. By definition, member is a function used to assess whether an element exists within a set. Instead of writing clunky custom logic or, using less efficient data structures to check if a specific item is present, the author is leveraging this built-in Haskell function. It's explicitly designed to solve the exact problem of checking elements quickly and cleanly. Doing it this way keeps the codebase sharp, accurate, and completely aligned with the standard way Haskell handles data. This next part builds out the actual testing environment. The author isn't just importing the member function. They're pulling in a highly specific list of lexicon functions from their own project. We're talking everything from chapter units and volume units all the way to is-prose punctuation. This whole list sets up the exact parameters for their test cases. And the primary target for that new member function we were just talking about? It's right there in the mix, Chinese numeral set. They are getting ready to assess whether specific elements exist within that very set. So, the absolutely crucial question here is why? If you look closely at the updates the author has been pushing lately, there's a really distinct pattern. We've looked at the micro-level code diffs, the imports, the config changes, but we have to step back for a second and look at the macro-level reality of the developer. The author explicitly points out that they've mostly been discussing refactoring lately. So why is the focus entirely on refactoring rather than building out brand new features? Let's explore the why behind the code. The developer is at a clear crossroads here. Do they focus intensively on refactoring, or do they chase down shiny new discoveries and insights? Well, the source text gives us a very pragmatic reason for choosing refactoring. The project has already reached its necessary basic feature set. Basically, it does what it was built to do. Because that foundational goal has been met, the author is making this conscious, strategic choice to stay totally locked in on optimizing and testing what is already there, rather than chasing new discoveries. But there is a much deeper, more personal layer to this choice, and frankly, it's something we don't often talk about in technical explainers. The author plainly shares that they simply lack the time and are actually facing health issues that prevent them from working on major changes right now. It's a sobering reminder of the entirely human constraints behind software development. Code doesn't exist in a vacuum. It is written, maintained, and constrained by people who have real limits on their time and their physical well-being. This honestly explains the focus on smaller, manageable refactoring tasks perfectly. And this brilliantly illustrates another modern reality of coding. You might be sitting there thinking, well, if time and health are limited, why not just use artificial intelligence to write the major changes? Well, the author actually tried that. But even with the help of AI, the suggested changes simply were not to the author's liking. I find this detail absolutely fascinating. It tells us that this pet project isn't just about getting things done. It's about getting things done to a specific personal standard. Even when automation is right there to carry the load, the output still has to pass the developer's own threshold of taste and quality. Which brings us to the conclusion of part 164. The author signs off simply, We'll see how this goes in the coming days. Till the next post, yours truly, Aang. That just perfectly wraps up the narrative, doesn't it? Acknowledging the uncertainty of the process, taking it day by day with the refactoring and those health constraints, while remaining fundamentally optimistic and fully committed to the future of the project. It's a quiet, genuine promise to return. And that brings us to the end of our journey today. We started by looking at a simple update to a Haskell configuration file, and we ended up uncovering the entire philosophy of a dedicated developer. So I want to leave you with this thought to really chew on. When a long-running pet project finally becomes feature complete, is the greatest limitation moving forward the code itself? Or is it the entirely human constraints of time, health, and personal taste? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep focusing, and I'll catch you on the next one.